ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेषणादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण. Today Lakshmi is traveling, so we will not be having Krishna Chakravarti's commentary. Today we'll directly discuss Prabhupada sessions. This is Varahadev who is appearing, and the prayers are offered to Varahadev after he performed the act of rescuing Mother Earth. And Bhagavatam will have this regular theme where everybody is offering prayers. Bhagavatam is Shrutena Arthena Cha Anjasa. So we can understand the Lord with the help of prayers. Shrutena and Arthena. This is another very important aspect of Bhagavatam, where we understand Lord with the help of prayers that are given in Bhagavatam. And here is one of the set of prayers where the explanation is given how the Supreme Lord is performing such tasks, and based on the activities, the prayers are offered. Now, here the prayers, if you see, they are offered according to his activities. And just last two prayers, O Lord, and especially Varahadev is for sacrifice. You have seen in the previous two shlokas also. O Lord, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifice, but souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. All the Vedic hymns, Gayatri and others are in touch of your skin. Your bodily hair is the kushagras, in your eyes is the clarified butter, and your four legs are the four kinds of fruitive activities. We have discussed how Varahadev appeared. When the Lord he exhaled, the breath is called the Vedas. The Vedas came from his breath. And Brahmaji, he inhaled the breath which came from the Lord. And that means he inhaled the Vedas. And we again exhaled, it came in the form of Varahadev. Varahadev is the personification of Vedas. Lord himself is Vedas. He appeared as he is Vedas, and here he is coming from the nostrils of Brahma. That means Vedas are only appearing. The form of Varahadev is there. That is the form. And his form is also worshipable performance of sacrifice. So we saw the Vedic hymns are, here we see the Vedic hymns are Gayatri, that is the touch of his skin. That is Gayatri and Vedic hymns are touch of his skin. The Kushagras is his hair. The clarified butter is his eyes, and four kinds of fruitive activities, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, are his legs. And then here, most important is Prabhupada writes, the strict followers of Vedas who despise the eternal form of Lord may know from Srimad Bhagavatam that his incarnations are personified form of Vedas. So these incarnations are personified form of Vedas. Lord bore skin, his eyes, his bodily hair, holes are all described here as different parts of the Vedas. Is therefore transcendental personified form of Vedic hymns, especially Gayatri Mantra. What happens is if somebody perfects chanting Gayatri, the perfection then he will attain, he will be able to get darshan of the Lord. So what happens if you remember the covering of the universe? And the first covering of the universe is 4 billion miles. So 4 billion miles. Uh, Now, after this, there is 4 billion miles of Earth. So, this is the universe, and half of it is filled with Garbhodak ocean. And then there is another covering. Then there is, sorry, here 40 billion. 40 billion, and then the 40 billion, 400 billion is water. Now, Varahadev resides at this place. He is residing in a place which is 40 billion, sorry, 40 billion yojanas, 4 billion yojanas. Is not miles. 4 billion yojanas, this is 40 billion yojanas. So, this is where the 400, now 40 billion yojanas is the earth. And this is the place Varahadev resides eternally. Varahadev is the earth personification because he rescued. Now, this is not the earth what we are seeing, it's the gross what we are seeing, but this is a subtle form. I discussed also. It is the fundamental particles, which is very, very subtle and which we cannot perceive with our direct eyes. This is like the nucleus of an atom, like that. And then after that is water, is the binding force, and I have discussed this previously. Now here we see that Varahadev is there, and now interestingly, the pleasure that what happens is yogis when they perfect, they go beyond this universe. So first, what happens is in the process of liberation for them, they first enter into this place where Varahadev is there, and they experience so much pleasure, more pleasure than what is experienced even in heavenly planets and higher planet system also, more than Brahmaloka also. Like we have this 14 planetary systems, and highest is Brahmaloka. Now, this is within this the frame of this the earth only, means sorry, the universe. But beyond this, when they go enter into, when these yogis they get liberated, they come to a place which is much more higher, and many living entities stay. This is beyond the universe only. So this is universe, and this is 4 billion yojanas, and then 40 billion yojanas is actually earth, and here also living entity resides, and here Varahadev along with Lakshmi Devi. So they reside, and the pleasure experience is very high. Now, how this pleasure is more higher than Brahmaloka also? What happens is that based on the expansion of our consciousness, the pleasure is proportionate to the consciousness. More the consciousness is evolved, more a person can experience pleasure. That is how it is. So why I am telling, because the location of Varahadev is there, and what we may think what they are doing there, because they are experiencing so much pleasure. The highest pleasure, like what is from air, is perfumes, smell. So the sense of smell gets the maximum possible pleasure. Now, if we are going for some parties, many people apply some nice perfumes and they put some air fresheners and some nice gardens and this, that. The nose gets some pleasure. But the nose can get maximum pleasure at this area after once across this Brahmanda. When we come to the first layer of covering of earth, the nose can get the maximum pleasure, the sense. And then beyond that, then they go to water level, then there is taste, and then there is sound. All different senses get the maximum amount of pleasure, which is more than what is experienced within this float and planetary systems. And beyond that is the Brahma Jyoti. So we cannot imagine how much pleasure person experiences in Brahma Jyoti. So here also living entities are there where Varaha Dev is worshipped. And now this Varaha Dev is the form that is explained here. And what is his personification of all the Vedas. So here we see that, oh Lord, your tongue is the plate of sacrifice. And now, whatever offering sacrifice we do, like anytime you are done, we should know we are putting directly into the tongue of the Lord. Your nostrils are another plate. Sometimes belly is the eating plate. Ears another. Mouth is Brahma. And the throat is the sacrifice known as Soma. And you chew known as Agnihotra. Whatever you chew is Agnihotra. Like now, a very important thing is Prabhupada says Vedavada Rata says that there is nothing more than the Vedas. Nade Astiti Vadina. The Vadina means they argue. Kamatmana Swargapara Janma Labha Faraprada. Kamatmanam Swargaparam. They say just enjoy, go to heaven and enjoy. And what is the destiny such people? Janma Labha Kriya Vishesha Bola Bhogaishwara Gatimpati. So they get stuck up in the cycle of birth and death. That's all. That is what they get. And here Prabhupada is writing, then the Vedas and the performance of sacrifice mentioned the Vedas. They have recently made a rule in their group to formally observe daily sacrifice. They simply ignite a small fire and offer something whimsically, and they do not strictly follow the sacrificial rules and regulations mentioned in the Vedas. They're just doing whatever they like. It is understood that by regulation there are different plates of sacrifice required, such as Sar, Surva, Bruce, Chaturhodra, Idya, Chamas, Prashitas, Graha, and Agnihotra. One cannot achieve, this is very important. See what Prabhupada is telling, one cannot achieve the result of sacrifice unless one observes the strict regulation. This is very important. Why it is not recommended for us is because of this reason only. The standards are so high, we cannot expect only much thing from here. If you remember the story of Vritrasur, how Vritrasur was born. Twashta made a huge sacrifice. He chanted everything perfectly, and he chanted one mantra. Pronunciation is also right. Only meter was wrong. Instead of saying Indra Shatro, he just the pronunciation was right. What was wrong? Meter. He just chanted little long. Indra Shatro, that's all. He got an exactly opposite result. So Prabhupada is writing, in this age, there is practically no facility for performing sacrifice in strict discipline. No need of going for any sacrifices, only one sacrifice. Therefore, in the age of Kali, there is a structure regarding such sacrifice. It is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtan Yajna, nothing more. You want to follow Prabhupada? This is the instruction. Standing order. Always we have to follow this instruction. The incarnation of Supreme Lord is Igneshwara. Unless one has respect for the incarnation of God, one cannot perfectly perform sacrifice. In other words, taking shelter of Lord and rendering service unto him is the actual performance of all sacrifices. What is the sacrifice means? Rendering service, taking shelter. So sacrifice means rendering service and taking shelter. This is what is sacrifice we need to do. People are so much because they have this karma mentality, they like rituals. They feel that, okay, I'm doing something, I'll get something in return. Because they have this spiritual mentality, they like in rituals. Like say, some pujari comes and says, you do this, break coconut here, cut a lemon here, and put some flower here, put some water here. And some very nice, elaborate, some actions are happening. People feel little satisfied. Yes, something is happening. One time, when boy went to a sadhu, he he went to and he said, actually, recently, my father he he committed so many sins, and then he died. Now I want you to somehow help him free from all the sinful reactions. I want him to be elevated. So I said, not possible. He anywhere did sin. So he'll be degraded. He said, no, 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 you are a sadhu. Something is possible. Do something, do something. And he was so much insisting. The sadhu said, okay. He was not ready to, the boy was not ready to listen. He said, something you do. No, I will do anything, whatever you say, but you should free my father from the sin. He said, no, the sadhu was telling, see, if he did sin, he has to pay for it. Nothing will go like that. But he was not ready. Then sadhu said, okay, what you do? Take 2 pots. Go to the market and purchase 2 pots. Now the boy was very excited. He said, now he is talking business. Now he said, okay. And then you put uh, butter in it. And in another one, you fill stone with it. Boy is very excited. Oh, it's quite complicated ritual and something will happen. And then he told, okay, you go to the river and put both of them into the river. And now you make sure that the stone, you break both the pots. Once you go into the river, you break both the pots. Now after that, you make sure that the stones are floating and the butter is drowning. I said, no, 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 how is it possible? The stones cannot float and butter cannot drown. I said, no, 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 that is only. If you can do that, then your father will be free from sin. Now, this is actually what boy said not possible. Then I said, it is not possible for your father to be free from sin. And the point is what? The point is people are interested in the rituals. They are not interested in the purpose of life. Their consciousness is of that level only. But here, no need to do like say if 10 Brahmanas come, they make a big sacrificial pot and then they are starting chanting big, big mantras and with huge elaborate arrangements and very grandiose performance happened. It looks something really happening. And somebody just sitting and praying to the Lord, chanting the holy name, 64 rounds today, Ekadasi, and is taking shelter to Lord, rendering service unto him. Prabhupada says this is actually Kali Yuga sacrifice. This is to do it. And nothing is needed. And that is what is. So Prabhupada right in the 11th canto of Srimad, it is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtan Yajna to please the Lord's incarnation as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yajna is Sankirtana. This should be rigidly followed in order to achieve the results of Yajna performance. That's all. No need of any sacrifices. We need not do any sacrifices. That is not needed only. We need not waste our time in all these rituals and sacrifices. Please just have faith that chanting itself is sufficient for us. Sankirtananya. Feelingly chanting, doing kirtan, chanting the holy name. Basically, in the previous ages, the sacrifices which age? It is of Dwapar Yuga. Sorry, Treta Yuga. So it is of Treta Yugas. Now what happened? In the Treta Yuga, people's mind were so much controlled. They were having very great control on their mind and senses. And for them to get absorption on Lord, they were doing sacrifice. Whole day they were engaged in sacrifice. Morning they wake up, arrange all the things for the Lord, and they saw the Lord as a person directly, and then they were relating to Him, and they are doing for His pleasure. In Satyuga, they were doing meditations. It was quite possible for them because there was no distraction, there was no impurity. They just start and then completely mind is focused. And in the Treta Yuga, there was little bit distraction in the concentration. That's why they said, okay, we'll start doing something important. In the Dwapar Yuga, they were directly seeing the Lord, form of the Lord standing in temple. They were going and directly talking to Him, doing something and coming home. That's why I see many pastimes of Lord walking, talking, so many things happen. There many things is to directly a person is there. Now you have to go to somebody's house. There's a big temple made, it's a house of Lord. You go meet him, talk to him, come back. That was possible in Dwapar Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we cannot even go to temple. And even if we go, we cannot talk to the Lord. We stop talking in Kali Yuga. And that's why I said, okay, wherever you are, because you don't go to temple every day, wherever you are, you can do sacrifice. That is why chanting is for me. So basically, in all the yugas, what is the most important aspect? Why we have to do all these things is to meditate on the Lord. So this is the main thing. So meditate on the Lord means mind should be absorbed in the Lord. So now mind is absorbed in so many other things. Now what is needed is only one thing. How much successful we are in our spiritual life is proportionate to how much I am able to meditate on the Lord, how much I am able to remember the Lord, how much I am able to connect to the Lord, how much I am able to feel for the Lord and want to getting a desire to serve the Lord. That much only. Not very complicated. If I stand in front of Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Govindji, I should get a desire. Let me do something for them today. Let me please them by chanting. Let me please them by doing kirtan. Let me please them by doing abhishekam and dressing for them. Let me please them by offering some bhoga to them. Let me please them by studying about them. Let me please them by knowing about them more. Let me please them by serving Vaishnavas. Let me please them by preaching about them. That's all. If we are able to get that much, and then our mind is absorbed. When we are chanting, it is fully focused. We are not getting any other thought other than pleasing the Lord, and we are not hearing any other distractions. Basically, mantra means mantrayate iti mantra we say, right? Man means mind and manas, then trayate means deliver. What is it delivering from? Delivering from the thoughts. Always we are getting so many thoughts. When we chant, sit for chanting, also constantly thoughts are coming. So that is the main problem. Our body and brain weight is 5% of our body weight is brain. It's very light part. Brain is very not does not take much weight. But the energy, 20 to 25% of our energy goes to the brain only. Why it is going? Because so many thoughts are there. And that is actually causing the so much problem for us. We have to reduce that energy and use that energy in what? And spiritual realization. That is why we need to meditate. We need to learn to not get the delivery of mind what? So that we don't get so many thoughts and our energy is uselessly wasted. If you don't get much, our mind is focused, then we have so much energy which can be used for self-realization. Otherwise, thoughts increase. It makes a person sick. And the person who underwent so many thoughts and all, he'll become very sick. He become very old, and even not become old, but he will get diseases and die because the thoughts went so fast in him. And this is actually what is the uh, problem. And here we see that the purpose of all the sacrifice and whatever is only one thing, uh, to help us remember the Lord, meditate on the Lord. And further it says, moreover, O Lord, your repeated appearance as are the desires of all kinds of initiation. Your repeated appearances are the desires for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place for three desires, and your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the activities prior to initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as fire of worship, and your living force are aggregate of all desires. Dharma, Artha, Kama. Dharma, Artha, and Kama. But Prabhupada did not write purport for it. I will not give any my own purport. I also don't know it. सोमस्तुरिते स्वानान्य अवस्थितै समस्त वेदादिस्तद्देवधात्म सत्राणि सर्वाणि शरीर सन्ति त्वं सर्वयज्ञ ऋतुर्विष्टबन्धना. It says, O Lord, your semen is a sacrifice called Somayagna. Your growth is the ritualistic performances of the morning. Your skin, the touch sensation are the seven elements of Agnishtoma sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbol of various other sacrifices performed over 12 days. Therefore, you are the object of all sacrifice called Soma and Asoma, and you are bound by yajnas only. Prabhupada writes, there are seven kinds of routine yajnas performed by all followers of Vedic rituals. They are called Agrishtoma, Adyaganishtoma, Ukka, Shodashi, Yajapeya, Atiratha, Apratoriam. Anyone performing such yajnas regularly is said to be situated with the Lord. But anyone who is in contact with Supreme Lord by discharging devotional service is understood to have performed all different varieties of yajna. Now, the purpose of yajna is to focus on the Lord, to develop the focus. I told you, we are able to meditate on the Lord. But if somebody is sitting and rendering service and doing, they're already in that. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratma shraddhavan bhajate yoma. So among all yogis, who is best? Who is able to shraddhavan bhajate? Of all the sacrifices, what is the best thing? If you are able to remember the Lord, you are the best. Now, the person is performing all these seven sacrifices every day, trying to remember the Lord. And Mother Yashoda, she is waking up early morning. She is feeding the cows, milking the cows, boiling the milk, and making curd and making butter. And she is considered much better than all these yogis and yogic brahmanas and all these people who are following rituals. Why? Because she is able to meditate on Krishna every second without any deviation. That is the highest. Yogi, she is highest. The persons who are performing sacrifices, she is the highest. She is doing sacrifice only. Because the purpose of sacrifice is this, so that we will be able to remember Krishna. That's why Prabhupada is telling. But anyone who is in contact with Supreme Lord by discharge of devotional service understood to have performed all different sacrifices. Only. And then next shloka says, this is all the uh, this is spoken by the demigods themselves. And Namo Namaste Kila Devata Dravyaya Sarva Kritave Hiratmane Vyagya Yajnaya Vidya Guru Eva Namo Namaha Gurave Namo Namaha. He says, O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipable by universal prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure mind free from all visible and invisible material contamination. We offer our respectful obeisances to you as a supreme spiritual master of knowledge and devotional service. The qualification of bhakti or devotional service to Lord is that the devotee should be free from all material contaminations and desires. This is the qualification. This freedom is called vairagya, a renunciation of material desires. One who engages in devotional service to the Lord, according to the regulative principles, is automatically free from material desires, and in that pure state of mind, one can realize the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead being situated in everyone's heart instructs the devotee regarding devotional service, pure devotional service, so that he may ultimately achieve the association of Lord. Is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam. The one who constantly engages in devotional service of the Lord with faith and love, the Lord certainly gives the intelligence to achieve him at the ultimate end. Prabhupada writes, one has to conquer the mind, and one may do it by following the Vedic rituals and by performing different types of sacrifice. The ultimate end. So this is the point. Now, what is more important is what is the purpose? All these things is to one has to conquer the mind. This is what we all have to achieve at the end of our life. And to do it, we may do it by following Vedic rituals, performing different types of sacrifices. But the ultimate end of all these performances is to what? To achieve bhakti only, devotional service only. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Personality of Godhead, or His innumerable Vishnu expansions are the only objects of worship by all the Vedic rituals and sacrificial performances. And this is the point. We have to control. Now, for devotees, they need not separately work on controlling mind. They just have to do devotional service and mind control will be automatically taken care. This is the advantage with the devotees. They need not separately do the, they need not work on separate mind control. Just worship the Lord, meditate on the Lord, chant the Lord with feelings. Mind is automatically controlled. Damstragya kotya bhagavam svayadrita virajate bhudhara bhudhara yatayanani shrutni arshato तथा धृता मदन गजेन्द्रस्य सपतर पत्र पद्मिनी. O lifter of air, the water with its mountains, which you have lifted with your tusk, is situated as beautifully as a lotus flower, which leaves with leaves stuck by the trunk of an infuriated elephant just coming out of water. So they are now glorifying the action which Lord did and how it is looking so attractive and beautiful. It says, Prabhupada read, the fortune of Earth planet is praised because of being specifically situated on the Lord. Its beauty is appreciated and compared to that of a lotus flower situated on the tusk of an elephant. as a lotus flower with leaves is very beautiful, is situated on the tusk of an elephant. So, the world with its many beautiful mountains appears similarly situated on the tusk of the Lord O. Further is this. Daryamayam Rupamidam Chashukaram Bhumandalenathadhadadritena te Jakashti Sangodharakanena Bhuyasa Kulaschalendrasya Yataiva Vibramaha. The demigods say, O Lord, as the peaks of great mountains become beautiful when decorated with clouds, your transcendental body has become beautiful because of your lifting the earth on the edge of your dust. The word Vibramaha is significant. Vibra means illusion as well as beauty. When the cloud rests on the peak of great mountain, the clouds appear to be sustained by the mountain. At the same time, it looks very beautiful. Similarly, the Lord has no need to sustain the earth on his dust, but when he does so, the world becomes beautiful. Just as the Lord becomes more beautiful because of his pure devotees on the earth. Although the Lord is transcendental personification of Vedic hymns, he has become more beautiful because of his appearance to sustain the earth. Now, this is actually what is the vision of demigods. They are able to see this form of Lord. They have divya chakshus. For them, there is an advantage. They can see the Lord. And when they are enjoying, also they acknowledge, my dear Lord, because of you, we are enjoying. If we are also able to acknowledge and enjoy some living entity, they can be elevated to demigod planets. They are able to uh, acknowledge that, my dear Lord, because of you, we are enjoying. That's all. That is what demigod do. They don't stop doing enjoyment. They enjoy, but they are able to acknowledge. Who don't acknowledge, then they are sent to lower planets. And in between people, they are given a chance to choose who are there. We can choose to go to demigods, acknowledge and enjoy like demigods, or they can, without acknowledging they want, then they are sent to lower. And who are more intelligent, they say, Arey, why up, why down? I want to go out only. Then they can become devotees and say, my dear Lord, I don't want to enjoy. That is the point. Here, they are able to acknowledge the Lord's form, His beauty, but they don't want to give up desire to enjoy also. That's why they are stuck up in this material world, but they are in a higher planetary systems and they appreciate the Lord. But the desire to enjoy does not go for them. So here they are very nicely able to appreciate the Lord in His form and how He's so nice, so beautiful. All these things they are able to acknowledge, they appreciate. And after that, when the Lord, after some time, Lord will also understand that now I have to disappear because demigods want to continue their own personal enjoyment. So Lord disappears, then demigods go to their own nice heavenly planets where they have their nice enjoying pastimes, and every day, the morning and evening, they appreciate the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for giving this. You are so nice, you are so beautiful. They chant some Purusha Sutta prayers and then continue their life. They have many, many pleasure pros and these that where they go to another different places to enjoy. Now, Lord has created this facility, this mental world. But one good thing for them is they can see the Lord regularly. And further, they say, and whenever they have any trouble, they say, my dear Lord, you are meant to protect your devotees. We are your devotees. You have to give us protection. So many demons are coming and they are trying to conquer our places and stopping our enjoyment. Lord, make some assistance, and especially Indra, he assists Indra to get his kingdom back and other things. So here also Varahadev is helping. संस्थापयनीनां जगतां सतस्तुंसां लोकाय पत्नीं समादरं पिता विदेम चास्यै नमसा सतत्वया यस्यां सतेजो Ivarnava. O Lord, for the residential purpose of all inhabitants, both moving and non-moving, this earth is your wife, and you are the Supreme Father. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, along with Mother Earth, in whom you have invested your own potency, just as an expert sacrificer puts fire in the Aurani wood. The Lord, here the connection between Varahadev and Bhudevi, their wife and husband. And that's how the system works. We need material nature and we need the Supreme Lord. Nature on its own cannot produce. There should be the father also, and mother should be there. Nature is mother, the Lord is father. Prabhupada writes, the so-called law of gravitation which sustains the planet is described herein as the potency of Lord. This potency is invested by the Lord. In the same way as an expert sacrificial Brahmana puts fire in the Arani wood by potency of Vedic mantras. So the Brahmana chant and he can invest the fire in that. By this arrangement, the world becomes inhabitable for both the moving and non-moving creatures. The conditioned souls who are residents of the material world are put into the womb of Mother Earth. In the same way, the seeds of a child is put by the father in the womb of a mother. So we need mother also, father also. With the material nature is like mother. This conception of Lord and the Lord and Earth as father and mother is explained by Bhagavad Gita. The conditioned souls are devoted to the motherland in which they take their birth, but they do not know their father. Mother is not independent in producing children. Similarly, material nature cannot produce living creature unless in contact with the Supreme Father, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada read Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us to offer obeisances unto the Father, Supreme Lord, along with Mother, because it is the Supreme Father only who impregnates a mother with all energies for the sustenance and maintenance of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. Now, this is the point. We have to we have to see that many people they take care of nature. They say, "Oh, we have to protect our nature. We have to do this. We have to do that." But they also forget that there is Supreme Father also. We have to acknowledge, and we should do something to please the Father also. काश्यतमस्तव प्रभो शाम दत्ताया भुव बुद्धभ्रर्षणम् न विस्मयोऽसु त्वयि विश्वविस्मये यो माययेदं सृजे सृजे विस्मयम्. He says, who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could deliver the earth from within the water? It is not very wonderful for you. However, because you acted very wonderfully in the creation of the universe, by your energy you have created the super wonderful cosmic manifestation. Why did earth fell? Because Varahadev in Chakshusha mantra, it is because of Hiranyaksha, it fell into the Garbhuda portion. But in Swayambhu Manantra, why did it fell? Because Lord wanted it. Why did Lord want? Because you want to come as Varahadev and do the pastime. It's all Lord pastime. You want to enjoy? He can create all situations. This his style of doing. Because he makes it fall and he lifts also. Like sometimes we teach children. You give some toys, they break, they put in a box, throw everything down, again take and put in the box. And we say, why are you doing? There is no logic. They say, it's fun. They have a big box, all the toys are there, they put all the things down and they get put there. Lord also, he made other, they go into Garudha portion, again he comes up, they lift and keep it up. And then he wants everybody appreciate. Like the child, he's appreciated. Oh, very nice, very nice. He kept all the toys nicely in the box. He's very happy. Maharaj also comes and all the demigods they praise the Lord, my dear Lord, you are so special, you are this, you are that. The Lord is very happy. And he goes and he performs his task. So that's why it is Leela. Means Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate. He don't have anything to do. He just does that. He's doing only Leelas. But when a scientist discovers something impressive to the ignorant mass of people, the common man, without inquiry, accepts such a discovery as wonderful. So if scientists are discovering, it is a discovery as wonderful. But the intelligent man is not struck with wonder of such discoveries. He gives credit to the person who created the wonderful brain of the sun. So now we should ask the question, who created this brain is doing such wonderful things. They are giving us smartphones and we are all able to hear each other and have classes. Now previously only some tantrics earthly planet, there are some tantrics who had this technology. They can, they have some glass or something where they can see what is happening at long distances. They have some siddhis like that. Demigods, of course, they were having. But here we are also having this tantric siddhi now. We are sitting at very far, thousands of kilometers, and we are able to look at each other and communicate. Now, we may feel, wow, God, what a great scientist we have. So they are giving all this and this. But the Prabhupada is telling, Arey, who gave the brain to the scientist? Who is giving that intelligence? Who created the brain of the scientist? A common man is also struck with wonder by the wonderful actions of matter nature, and he gives all credit to the cosmic manifestation without inquiring into the brain behind it. Who is making it? The learned Krishna conscious person, however, knows well that behind the cosmic manifestation, the brain of Krishna, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Since Krishna can direct the wonderful cosmic manifestation, it's not at all wonderful for him to assume the gigantic form of a boar and thus deliver the earth from the mire of water. A devotee is therefore not astonished to see the wonderful boar because he knows that the Lord is able to act far more wonderfully by his potency, which are inconceivable to the brain of even the most erudite scientists. They cannot understand, it's not possible. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only with bhakti only we can understand Krishna. Any other, all these mechanical means impossible. Vidunvatam Vedamayam Nijam Vapur Janastapas Satya Nivasino Vayam Sata Siddho Shikodhuta Sivambhuvan Dubhir Imujamana Prishanamisha Pavita. O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of this most pious planet, the Jana Tapan Satyalokas, but still we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulders hairs by the shaking of your body. So what happened is when Varahadev came out, he started shaking. Prabhupada writes, ordinarily the body of a hog is considered impure, but one should not consider the hog incarnation assumed by the Lord is also impure. Because he went into Garbha, the ocean. The ocean is like Ganga only. And then you are getting Ganga Jal, that too from the transcendental body of Lord. And what is the body of Lord? It is the Vedic personification of Vedas. And his hair and skin, there is coming, Gayatri Mantra is coming, Vedas are coming. This form of Lord is the personified Vedas and is transcendental, Prabhupada writing. The inhabitants of Jana, Tapa, and Satyalok are most pious persons in the material world, but because those planets are situated in the material world, there are so many material impurities there also. Therefore, when the drops of water from the tips of Lord's shoulders, the shoulder hairs, are sprinkled upon the bodies of the inhabitants of the higher planets, they felt purified. The Ganges water is pure because of its emanating from the toes of Lord, and there is no difference between the water emanating from the toe and from the tips of the hair of the shoulders of the Lord both. They are both absolute and transcendental. It's like Ganges. And as soon as the boar comes out of water, it started shaking, so that the water is removed. Same thing Varahadev did. Actually, Varahadev did, that's why now the animals they do. They imitate Lord. And they are feeling, oh, so nice, we got such nice water. And the next locus is Savai Vata Brashta Matistavai Tavishyate Yah Karmanam Prama Apara Karmana Yadyogamaya Gunayogamohitam Vishwam Samastam Bhagavan Videhisam. O Lord, your there is no limit to your wonderful activities. Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activity is certainly nonsensical. Everyone in this world is conditioned by your powerful mystic potencies. Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditioned souls. This is what is they are ultimately offering their request. So before telling this, they offered so many prayers, and then um, they are making their request. Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditioned souls. Prabhupada writes, mental speculators who want to understand the limit of unlimited are certainly nonsensical. Every one of them is captivated with the external potencies of the Lord. The best thing for them is to surrender unto Him, knowing Him to be inconceivable, but thus they can receive His causeless mercy. This prayers was offered by the inhabitants of higher planetary system, namely Jana, Tapa, and Satya, and who are far more intelligent, powerful than humans. So more intelligent than scientists also. Their technology is subtle technology. They don't need a mobile to communicate somebody very far. Just sit, close your eyes, and you just speak, and it is heard by the person whom you want to communicate. They can communicate with each other. They have that technology. No need of any mobile charging, and there should be network, and then there is data, this, that. So many issues we have, and we manufacture, and then we need to have latest mobile, so many apps and all. They don't need all this. They are subtle technology. They have all these things are there, but in a very subtle way. These are things very gross. They come from the lower planetary systems. Lower planetary system, they don't have 5G. They have maybe 20G, 30G. They have gone far ahead in technology. Lower planets. But these asuras, they come up and give the technology to us. All these scientists are like that. Here, they are from Tapajana, Satyalokas, they are very elevated with all full technologies, but in a subtle way. That's they are not gross, they are in a sattvic. The word Vishwam, Asmitam are very significant. There are the material world and spiritual world. The sages pray, both worlds are bewildered by your different energies. Those who are in the spiritual world are absorbed in your loving service, forgetting themselves and you also. And those in the material world are absorbed in the material sense gratification, therefore also forget. No one can know you because you are unlimited. It's best not to try to know you by unnecessary mental speculation. Rather, kindly bless us so that we can worship you with causeless devotional service. So, this is what the demigods are praying. That we cannot understand you, and that is not possible even for demigods. Even for Brahma, also it is not possible. And then they say this is that's what they the end what they want is they want to show compassion to conditions. Maitreya Uvacha it upastiyamanoso munibhir brahmavadivi shalile swapuri purprakarta upadattai dattavitavayan. The sage Maitreya said, the Lord, being thus worshipped by all the great sages and the transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water. Placed it on the water. The earth was placed in the water by his inconceivable potency. So how is it floating? Lord made it. The Lord is all powerful. Therefore, he can sustain the huge planets either on the water or in the air. The tiny human being brain cannot conceive how these potencies of Lord can act. Man can give such vague explanations by the laws by which such phenomena are made possible, but actually the tiny human beings are unable to conceive of the activities of Lord, which are therefore called inconceivable. Prabhupada, yet the folk philosophers still try to give some imaginary explanations. Further, it says, in this manner, the personality of Godhead Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on water, he returned to his own abode. So here I told the abode is just after the covering of earth is where is the abode. And is if with the attitude of devotional service one hears and describes the auspicious narration of Lord Bo's pastimes, which are worthy of description, the Lord who is within the heart of everyone is very pleased. Prabhupada says, in his various incarnations, Lord appears, acts, and leaves behind him a narrative history which is as transcendental as he himself. Every one of us is fond of hearing such wonderful narrations, but most stories are neither auspicious nor worth hearing because they are of the inferior quality of material nature. Every living entity is of the superior godly spirit, soul, and thus nothing material can be auspicious for an intelligent person. So therefore, personally hear and cause others to hear the descriptive narratives of the Lord's activities, for that will destroy the pangs of material existence. Out of his causeless mercy on Lord comes on this earth and leaves behind narrations of his merciful activities so that the devotees may derive transcendental. Two more. Just nothing remains unachievable when the personality of God it is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. The last sloka says, Ko nama loke purushat saravid pura katana bhagavat kata sudam आपीय कर्णा जलभिर्भयापहा अहो विरजयते विना निरेतरम्. Who, other than one who is not a human being, can exist in the world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life? Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality of Godhead's activities, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs? The purpose is the narration of the activities of personality of Godhead is like a constant flow of nectar. No one can refuse to drink such nectar except one who is not a human being. Devotional service to the Lord is the highest goal of life for every human being, and such devotional service begins with hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord. Only an animal or a man who is almost an animal in behavior can refuse to take. So, Prabhupada is so heavy. Of course, but only a man or a man who is almost animal can refuse to take interest in hearing the transcendental message of the Lord. Many books of stories studied in the world, but except for the narrations of topics of personal development, none of are capable of diminishing the burden of material plans. Tattva visargo janataga viplo ismin pratishlokam abaddivattapi naman anandasya shonkitanvat shrinvanti gayanti granthi sar. So they can create revolution in the heart of impious siblings. Therefore, one who is serious about eliminating mental existence must chant and hear narrations of the transcendental activities of the personality. Otherwise, one must be compared to non-humans. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purport of third canto, the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. Thank you all very much. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you all very much. Kalantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.